Whoa. Okay. I'm going to just share my screen here so you guys can see, and so I stay on track and get you guys out maybe even before time. How's that? So I just wanted to welcome you to, I said why LinkedIn should matter to you when I sent out the initial email, but I really want to say why it could matter to you, because I don't want to tell you guys should. However, I hope by the end of this briefing that you guys will have a little bit different view of it for those of you that are like, oh no, not LinkedIn, all right? So I'm trying to do this so I can also see some of your faces while I'm talking, because it makes me feel like I'm somewhat in a real live workshop. Okay, so I want to let you guys know that I'm psychic. Do you like this slide here? That's my crystal ball. Usually I have it in class. And I'm 100% accurate, everyone, 100%. I'm going to read all of your fortunes right now. You're all going to be getting out of the military. 100% accurate? Absolutely. It might be when you decide. It might be when you don't decide. You may or may not be emotionally ready. However, you're all going to be getting out at some point. And so my superpower is actually preparing you guys for this process. To tell you a little bit about me, I'm a former military spouse. I have a son who's actually serving in the Air Force. He's in security forces. Whoop, whoop. And I've really just done so many different jobs. I have a ton of stories from my classes, but I want to let you guys know that I have been in the TAP program since 2009. And I also taught the Department of Labor piece. I took a break. I was still teaching TAP though. And so I'm here at Travis. Some of you guys may have seen me if you've been to any of our briefings. You may have seen me usually running around the center because we do have one of the largest TAP programs, the transition program. Our program is so successful that people come TDY to come to our program. So I want to let you guys know, I wanted to give you some credibility here. When I taught for the Department of Labor, I taught all up and down California and around the United States. So I'm very familiar with what other installations have. I have worked with lots of different career specialties and career codes. And I just wanted to let you guys know I've helped over, I would say, 8,000 people get out of the military since I started. So quite a big number. I was not on LinkedIn until 2017, everyone, and I regret it. I wish I would have been on earlier, but guess what? I never had a briefing like this that showed me what was in it for me, besides just I should be on to get a job. And many of you, when you're still in the military, you're like, Roseanne, I don't need LinkedIn. I'm still in the military. I just started. Like, don't talk to me about TAP right now. But I'm going to tell you guys that the people that get out of the military, no one's ever told me, wow, Roseanne, you over-prepared me. No one, not once, not even the pilots, okay? So everyone feels when they're going through a transition getting out that they could have done something smarter and better. So I wanted to let you guys know that my job is to help you guys dream big. I do not want you to just get a job. I even have pilots that just take the first thing that comes along their way because they think it's good, or their friend liked it, or their friend had given the hookup. I just don't want you guys to be getting any job. I'd rather inspire you guys way, way, way before you get out. So hopefully some of you that are on here, and it's really hard in this setting for me to have a lot of conversation with you, but I hope those of you that are brand new in the military, or you're very young in your careers on here, I honestly hope you get the most out of this. And for those of you that are a little bit in the middle toward end of your careers, I really want you to start ASAP, all capitals, right? There's always something to learn to do better. You can always do something better and smarter. Like I can always do something better on LinkedIn too, right? So we're all here to learn. Okay, so I'm gonna just be quiet for what's gonna seem like eternity for me, but I really want you to put some thought into this. I just want you don't have to close your eyes, but I want you to think for a moment about what your life and your career after the military, what does that look like? So if you were watching a movie of your life, when you get to choose your own clothes and wear your hair and grow a beard and do whatever you want to do, right? What does that life look like? Where are you going to live? How are you going to feel? And I'm going to be quiet for a second so you can think about that. Okay, I hope everyone's come up with something, okay? If you want your life to be exactly how it is now, okay, but I'm hoping that for many of you, it's going to be a little bit different. So now I want to use the chat box just so I know that everyone's alive. I see some people already, okay, clear. Oh, definitely. I'm glad you guys can hear me. Okay, using a scale of 1 to 10, I want you guys to write in the chat box what your number is, meaning 1 is you don't really know anything and 10 is you know a lot, in regard to knowing about what LinkedIn is and the value for you at this moment in your military career, okay? So on a scale of 1 to 10, can you type in the chat box? This is gonna wake you up and get your fingers, moving. Okay, good. It's good to see some, that helps me when I see these numbers. Okay, negative 99. Cool. 2.2. Oh, definitely. Okay. This is good. This is really good. All right. That's good to know. That's very nice. Okay, thank you, Logan. All right. So I wanted to just get these numbers because I'm going to also ask you guys to give me your number at the end of the workshop too. I'm going to be curious to see where you're all at. All right. Okay. So what's the big deal about LinkedIn? What is the big deal, right? Every time people told me, Roseanne, you got to get on LinkedIn, I was like, I don't have any time for that. That would be like someone telling me to get on Snapchat right now. I'd be like, what? My kids are on, I don't even know what I'm doing. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you guys about what the big deal is for you. So LinkedIn has been around. I want you guys to guess how long, when did LinkedIn start? Give a guess of the year that LinkedIn was around by, just in the chat box. Just those of you that are very fast with your fingers. What, 2003? Okay, Brandon, that's a good guess. 2008, 2007, 1990s. I think that was MySpace. All right, 2002, very nice. All right, good. 1946, Joseph. I love it. You guys are making me laugh. So LinkedIn has been around since 2002. So good job, Philip. Natalie, you were so close. Yeah. So LinkedIn has been around longer than Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and even MySpace, for those of you that can go way back in time and remember the MySpace days. There's 600 million people on LinkedIn, you guys, and there's 100 million job postings. But most important for you, 90% of recruiters regularly use LinkedIn. And once again, even though some of you are like, Roseanne, I'm not getting out right now and I'm not getting out for a long time, I still want you seeing what recruiters are posting about. And I don't know about you guys, but it would feel really nice if someone reached out to me and offered me a job and I was said, oh, thanks so much, but you know what, I really love the job I'm doing right now helping service members and their families, but I'm honored that you reached out to me for this job opportunity. Thank you. And kind of keeping that connection, right? So I want you guys to at least have people noticing you, noticing what skills you're bringing to the table, because my military members, you guys are my elite talent pool. However, you have a difficult time translating what you do in the military into civilian work. Okay, like even right now, like cargo load masters and stuff, like what is that, right? What is that? A flight engineer, what is that? Like you guys have to be able to articulate what you do in civilian terms for folks so that they can understand it. So let's take this here. I just wanted to give a little brief Facebook versus LinkedIn. I hope you can see on my slide here that on Facebook or whatever other platform you're on, you're adding a friend, and I'm going to just hope that you like those people. Okay, like maybe you'd invite them to a barbecue, maybe you'd pay for a drink of theirs, whatever, but I'm going to say Facebook is for your friends. LinkedIn, notice the word on LinkedIn when you reach out to someone, it's connect. It is not add friend. Have you guys ever been on Facebook or somewhere, another platform where they're suggesting people for you and you're like, if I wanted to be friends with that person, they'd already be on my list, right? Like you're like, stop showing me their picture, right? But on LinkedIn, it's different. You're just connecting, okay? It's like, and this is weird because of COVID and everything right now, but I tell people it's like a handshake, right? Remember when you used to reach out to shake someone's hand, they'd shake your hand, you'd say, oh, hi, I'm Roseanne Callens. And they'd say, oh, hi, I'm Ryan Paget, or they tell me their name. it's not like they would just turn around and walk away, right? So LinkedIn is just like a professional handshake. And then this is my favorite one for you guys. I wish people would have explained this to me. So I'm going to hope that many of you on this workshop today have been TDY, or you've gone maybe to a conference, or even like at your tech school and stuff, right? LinkedIn is like being at a digital TDY. That is my best analogy for the military. You're walking around LinkedIn, so to speak, you know, so-and-so from Travis Air Force Base, and you're acting as a professional, right? And for those of us that have been TDY, we have seen some crazy people TDY, right? When some people start talking and you're like, oh my God, thank God I don't work with that person. Has that ever happened to anyone? Thumbs up if that's happened. You're like, no, that's only you, Roseanne. Okay. So there's people that talk TDY and you're like, oh my gosh, that's what's going on. And then there's other people that talk and you're like, man, that person, like, they really know what they're talking about. Or maybe they, I used to do the finance briefing and the finance program. And I used to love going to TDY and hearing what people were doing to make the finance briefing more fun. Okay, so LinkedIn is a great place for you guys to actually learn from others and for you to share what you know. So think of it like you're at a digital TDY, whereas on Facebook, I might be like, hey, well, I see Joseph Farmer. I don't know Joseph, but if I was like, hey, Joseph, how you doing? Woo, woo, woo. Okay, that would be like Facebook, right? I would not do the woot woot on LinkedIn. I would be like, oh, hey, Joseph, what base are you at now? I know I'm at Travis Air Force Base. Although I'd be talking in a more professional term on LinkedIn. Oh, and if you guys have any questions, I'm going to have a questions at the end too, but if you also have questions at a particular slide, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask a question, or to put it in the chat box, and I'll try to monitor that, okay? Okay, so to give you guys another analogy, LinkedIn is a tool for your toolbox, okay? So when you go to someone's page on LinkedIn, you will see the connect button, and you're going to click on connect. Do you see right here, it says 500 plus connections? That means that Jennifer Green right here has over 501 connections. Why is that important? This is not a friend contest. I'm not going to have your squadron have a popularity contest of like who got the most connections this week, although that might be kind of funny, right? But what it is that the more connections you have, and all transitioning service members who are in the actual TAP program in my LinkedIn classes, I absolutely give you that as your first goal, 500. And we break it down into small steps, but that's actually very easy to do when you think about connecting with a whole bunch of recruiters. And especially in the career field that you guys are in, there are a plethora of recruiters in the industry that you are in, and those big companies that you guys are working with, or airframes that you're working on, that are on LinkedIn. So I pulled up Jennifer, she works for Raytheon, and you guys can see right here, it says second, which means we're not connected. That means that she and I have someone in common that we're connected with. So first means that I'm connected with her already. Second means we know someone in our network, and that's what starts to help you. As you guys get a bigger network, more people are apt to connect with you, or they're going to go, oh, you know so-and-so, or oh, you're connected to so-and-so. And it just really starts to help you have a much warmer network, which I know it's hard to believe when you think of the number 500. It's just the way the algorithm works, and I want you guys to be showing up in search results. That's my goal for you too, to get you showing up in a ton of search results. So it's just a tool. LinkedIn is just one tool, but it's super powerful to use at all times of your career. This is not just for when you're getting out. In fact, for the folks getting out, I wish that I would have had them when I'm speaking to you right now. This is like my dream, is to talk to people while they're still in. So that way we can create that life that you were picturing after the military. We can work backwards from that to make it happen. Okay. So I want to tell you guys, I put a picture here of Everett. LinkedIn is also great to find interesting people and careers. So this guy on my slide here, Everett Davis, I'm going to call him Everett Davis because he's not wearing his military uniform anymore. I went to the MSAS squadron in December during their training week, and I gave a briefing about LinkedIn to the entire, like the whole auditorium was full. Everett came to my LinkedIn 2.0 class in February. It was actually February 28th. In that class, I connected him with the recruiter at Amazon. Now, I wish this picture showed the clock because there's a clock right here on our wall at the Airman and Family Readiness Center. This was 11:45 or 11:40 a.m. in the morning. And Everett, I make everyone write a message in class because you guys are like, oh no, Roseanne, not yet. Like, I'm going to still go home and rewrite it. I'm like, oh no, you're going to send a message like right now in class. Okay, because I'm very bossy. Okay, you guys. And so Everett wrote this message. And the reason why he's smiling is because the recruiter started writing back to him right away in class. So he could see the bubbles. And Everett's like, oh my God, he's writing back to me. And everyone was turned around. They're kind of like where I am taking the picture. And everyone was kind of jealous that a recruiter was writing right back, but then they were really happy for him. So I want to just let you guys know, I think I have in the picture, I don't. It's down the way a little bit, but in this class, this was February of this year, Everett is already out of the military and doing a DoD SkillBridge program for Amazon. And in fact, in his little town in Tennessee, that he did not think I was going to get him a job by his little town. Now, not only did this recruiter help him, he actually found, doing a search on LinkedIn, he found one of his old commanders, not old, but previous commanders from when he was deployed. And I think he was in IUD. He was deployed and he wrote to the commander, and Everett called me and he was like, Roseanne, I don't know, it feels really awkward because he was like a commander. And I was like, no, he's out. He's working for Amazon. He's a veteran. He's going to want to help you. And so Everett wrote to his old commander, and he even helped, along with Bo Higgins, get Everett snap out, even during COVID, everyone. So it's really powerful for you guys to also use all these people that you're meeting in the military, and for all of my younger career folks right now, like you're very young in your military career, you know, making connections with all of the quote older leadership people, right? I know you guys think they're so old. We think we're cool. We just think we're really cool at this point, okay? But anyway, reaching out and connecting with them. So I wanted to show you Everett's smile, you guys, because he was really nervous. I wish I took a picture before. Here's another guy, Jordan. Jordan's a Coastie. He wrote this message in class on December 2nd, and then he waited until he went home to finish it, and I let him go because, you know, I'm not as bossy with the Coast Guard as I am with my Air Force, okay? And you guys could see he wrote that at 8:47 at night, and the recruiter, the guy, wrote right back to him, and that guy that he reached out to actually was what Jordan was in the Coast Guard. So I teach you guys how to do a targeted search as well, to find people who have done what you also did in the military as like your first step. Okay, then I have you reaching out to other people too. Because I'll say this in case I forget everyone. Let me make sure, I'm gonna try to see who all has their video on. Give me a thumbs up if someone has come up to you and said, thank you for your service. Give me a thumbs up. Has anyone said, I see 1, 2, Have you seen anyone else saying thank you for your service? Okay, good. Okay, I'm scrolling through now. Oh, I got the emoji one. That's great. That's good. Okay, you guys, I'm going to tell you from a civilian perspective, we feel really dorky saying that to you. We feel like we want to say so much more or do so much more, and we get nervous too, like, oh my gosh, there's a service member wearing a uniform. I'm so proud of them, but they're shy. And then they come up to you, maybe if they get out of their shyness and they say thank you for your service, or maybe they've paid for your meal or whatever. But I'm going to tell you guys that professionals love helping you guys. If you reached out to me and you were like, Roseanne, I see that you're in a marketing job. Even though I did this in the military, working in the airlift squadron, I really want to get into marketing because I love graphic design and I love writing and I love this. Do you have 10 or 15 minutes to talk to me to give me a piece of advice on how I could be more successful? Now you're letting me help a veteran with something I'm really good at. So I want everyone on here to know that every time I brief like Rotary clubs and professional organizations in the private sector, the title of my briefing is how you can say more than thank you for your service. And they love it because they're like, I never knew. And they're always telling me, if you know someone who wants to be an accountant, please send them my way. I just had a guy connect with a winemaker for Far Niente Winery, which if you know that winery, their bottles are definitely not cheap. And I actually went to school with him. And the guy was really nervous because when he Googled him, he was like, oh, Roseanne, this guy is like a CEO. And I was like, no, like I went to high school, like we partied on the levee together, like he's cool, all right? But the airman did not want to reach out to him at all. And then he did, and my friend connected him with a whole bunch of other winemaker friends. So I want to tell you guys, it's very powerful. This story with Jordan is another person that was in my office that just told me, I'm going to Boise, Idaho, Roseanne. I don't know anyone. I'm probably going to have to wait until I get out and just find a job. And I was like, oh, heck to the no. Like, that is not happening. Okay. So sure enough, I want to let you guys know that Jordan actually had people arguing over him. He was negotiating big time. He even negotiated paternity leave because his wife ended up getting pregnant at the end when they got out, which they were not planning. And so guess who was on the hiring panel? The person that he reached out to on LinkedIn. And he actually had no idea. He called the guy to say, hey, thank you so much for helping me. I got this interview at this one company, and the guy said, oh, I can't talk to you anymore because they actually have me on the hiring panel. So that's like the universe in action, right, you guys? So I wanted to really share this, because if I were to just sit here and tell you guys this on the briefing, you'd be like, oh, Roseanne, you're just positive, and none of these things really happen. This stuff happens all the time. All the time. My boss is like constantly amazed at all the people that come to the center to be like, oh my gosh, Roseanne, so-and-so wrote back to me. It's very exciting. Okay, I wanted to show you guys an example because when I was researching about what some of the jobs are that you guys do and some of the companies that you guys might want to target, and when I work at Travis and down in San Diego and stuff, so many service members are targeting Boeing, Raytheon, Lockheed, all those big companies, okay? I know that's not for everyone, but I wanted to show you an example. Florent, underneath his name, can you guys see that what he is? He is the Deputy Vice President and Business Director at Boeing. He's also a veteran. He's also a veteran. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a plane getting painted, but I'm going to just tell you this. It made me think of a guy I had in my office one time that's what he did for a job, and he really prided himself on the way that you paint. And he went into this whole description of how you can paint so carefully, and you could really tell that he really loves his job. Okay, so I wanted to show you this. I'm going to click on this because this is an example of someone in class that you guys might be like, Roseanne, I don't want to reach out to this person. Okay, even though like this is interesting to me, it's in my career field. This guy works way high up in Boeing. Let's click on it, and I think I'm going to have to stop my share and then reshare. This is going to take some savviness on my part, everyone, and I'm just really not the best at this still. Okay, hold on. Okay, well, as you see, it's not working the best. Maybe now. I practiced this last night. Bring your shared window to the front. I'm sorry, I hope no one's getting like, okay, can everyone see the video now? Can you guys see my LinkedIn? Okay, so here, I'm gonna click on his profile here in a second, but this is an example of, he made a post, Deputy Vice President, Business Director at Boeing. Does any of you on here, by giving me a thumbs up, do you think that when you read his post right here, ever wondered what goes into painting an airplane? I never knew until I had the opportunity, blah, 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 blah. Do you guys think that you guys can at least write a comment to this post? I'm gonna just give me a thumbs up if you read this and you think like, I could comment on that based on what I've seen or done in the military. Anyone? I see a thumbs up, okay. Anyone else? Thumbs up? Maybe, maybe not. Or who even just thinks that's cool? I never thought about the painting of the plane, right? Okay, so I'm gonna click on it. I wanna show you guys this. 75, I hope you can see here, it's a little bit small. 75 people liked it. No one cares about those people. That's like me walking by you in the commissary and just giving you a thumbs up to your face and just walking. Like, you're like, who's that lady? Maybe I smiled at you, I don't know, okay? But 6 people commented. Now, everyone on this workshop, do you think that anyone who actually commented is going to make an impression on the Deputy Vice President of Boeing Commercial Sales? Yes or no? I want to see your heads nodding. Yeah, okay. I'm going to click on his page now so you can see a little bit more about him. Actually, when you guys sign up for LinkedIn Premium and you go to the LinkedIn Premium page, you'll see a video about him. He's actually one of the veterans on the Social Impact for Good. And I want to show you, he's a Medal of Honor recipient. And you guys can see by scrolling down, he's worked at Boeing, motivational speaker, and operations officer, infantry officer. So you guys can read that. But I want to show you what a great impression you can make, and he can maybe open some doors for you, okay? That's a very easy thing. Do you guys know how fast I found that last night? I found that in like 3 minutes, okay? That's not even someone that I usually even follow. Okay. So this is an example of you guys, while you're still in the military, you guys can make a big impression. There's so many people on LinkedIn that I have professional connections with and I think very highly of, whom I've never met, just by what they're constantly posting and they're writing, okay? All right. Here's Boeing. Notice my title is you guys can find opportunities. So the last slide was you can make an impression. So this is why LinkedIn should matter to you. You can make a big impression. The next one is you guys can find opportunity. This one's Boeing. Boeing has 1.9 million followers on their company page. Last night when I went onto their company page and I scrolled down and I looked at some of their things they had posted, they actually had a post on how to get a job at Boeing. Like they want you guys. You guys are like, oh my gosh, veteran check, elite talent pool check, transferable skills check, clearance check. You guys have so many things. You're so much further ahead than like, I have a friend of mine from high school that he's an engineer, but he's not a veteran. And it's so exceptionally hard for him to get into some of these companies that he wants to get in as well. So notice it says, join our talent network to get email updates, blah, blah, blah. So it's even showing you guys could still sign up for this, even if you're like, Roseanne, I'm going to still be in the military for 12 more years or whatever. Well, I'm going to tell you guys this. I've seen a lot of people who are getting medically boarded who wanted to, or maybe they're an admin step or whatever, but I'm just saying that they wanted to stay in the military all 20 years plus. But I have a statistic for you, for those of you that like statistics. Only 17% of military members stay in for the entire 20 plus years. That is not a big percentage, okay? So I want everyone on here to really be thinking about what it is that you might love to do when you get out, okay? Or what companies might you want to work for. So here's Boeing. This is just another example, and I'll click on this one as well. Oh, I think you guys can't see me, or can't see my screen again. I like to show you guys in real time so you don't think I'm faking you out like, oh, Roseanne just says there's jobs on there, but she's lying. There it is. There it is. This was 1 week ago. You could see Boeing. I'm on their main company page, 1.9 million followers, looking for your next role. Team Boeing is hiring engineers. And there's a lot of hiring for space programs right now. I'm sure you guys know about that. Join our global talent network. Okay, and so 1,000 people liked this. Do we care about those people? No, we do not care about those 1,200 people, but only 40 people made comments, and there's always the Debbie Downers. They're like, must be nice. I've applied for 1 year. No one ever calls me back. Oh, never write that ever, you guys, on a company page, right? Never, 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 ever. But you'll see a lot of people, and I go into this in class. We go into this way more in depth about how to make a comment and post and everything. But I want to show you guys that companies are constantly hiring. And let's say you're like, Roseanne, I only know Boeing. I don't even know what companies to even look for. Well, look at you guys. I'm on the Boeing page. And right here on the right, LinkedIn is like, hey, Roseanne, here's some similar pages. Airbus, Lockheed, Apple, interesting, show more. I can show more. Amazon, GE, Microsoft, all these different companies come up that I may or may not be interested in. Okay, how's everyone doing so far? Is everyone still alive? Just let's see, type in the chat box a 5 if you think that this is pretty cool so far about just even looking at how to make an impression and finding opportunity. Type in a 5 if you think it's pretty okay. Okay, all right, cool. I hope I have your attention. I'm telling you guys, just by you guys writing comments on these things, people notice. People take notice. Now listen, this is just like your boss. If you type something up really nice or turn something in, your boss doesn't usually go like, oh, very nice work, blah, blah, blah. No, they don't do that, but they think it. Or they're like, wow, so-and-so has their beep together, okay? You make an impression, all right? When you guys walk around fast, my joke is if you miss the military, walk around fast around your house with a blue folder. You can do a privacy act cover sheet, okay? Like, you know, when you walk around fast, everyone's like, oh, so-and-so is really taking a lot of initiative because she's walking so fast everywhere. I don't know what it is about you guys and walking fast, but I definitely see it in my son. I'm like, why didn't you do that when you were little? But anyway, okay, so I wanted to show you guys some of this. Now look at, you guys, it doesn't get any easier. I just found this last night. Oh my God, I want to do so much more for you guys because now I'm so excited about your squadron. Okay, intel for your future. Okay, Lockheed Martin. So this woman here, you could see her headline. I'll talk about what all this means. The headline stuff will actually, for those of you that take my afternoon workshop that I'm only doing for you guys this afternoon, you'll see how to do the headline and stuff. So look at, did you know that over 22% of our workforce is made up of veterans and active military reservists for my separatees who want to keep their health care? Transitioning into the private sector can be tricky. With that said, if you are or you know any transitioning military in avionics or aircraft mechanics, like they're rolling out the red carpet for you guys in this post, right? Now, I didn't screenshot all the comments because I'm trying to make my slides a little bit more modern and super cool for you guys, okay? But listen, Anthony Gilbert, I do not know this guy, but he is constantly writing on stuff all the time. What is his job title, everyone? Military Relations Team Leader at Lockheed. And look at what he wrote. Please have all vets you know connect with me. You guys don't even have to be like the awkward emoji. He told you to connect with him, okay? Now look at this guy. This guy was so brave. He's like, I have 5 months before I start transitional leave. When should I start looking and applying? And then the person that wrote the post, Lara, Joseph, great question. I usually recommend to start applying to roles of interest as far out as 3 to 4 months. Feel free to connect with me. It's like fishing, everyone. I would rather you guys go fishing and you're like, wow, my bait's really working and the fish are biting, because otherwise you guys wait till terminal leave and then you crack your knuckles and you're like, all right, I'm going to start applying now. No, that's not going to happen if you go through Tap at Travis. I will not let that happen to you. But my point is this. You guys can connect with Anthony Gilbert for anyone that's interested in roles at Lockheed. And he's posting stuff all the time, like from a recruiter's perspective. If anyone's in the dating world, anyone dating on here, well, guess what? So many recruiters are like, hey, candidates, stop ghosting me. Like, freaking text me back, okay? Like, the recruiters are like, why do I feel like I'm dating a candidate? Like, just please text me and say you're not interested. It's so funny how recruiting and what recruiters post about will actually make you guys laugh, or you'll be like, Roseanne, surely people wear pants when they're on a video conference. Like when I teach, I'm like, no, people don't wear. I've done so many interviews where people have not, did you not? And now that we have COVID, you guys have seen stories in the news already. So I know you guys have all seen it and heard of it already, that people have been on Zooms and stuff and like going to the bathroom, right? Everyone's heard the horror stories and the microphone still being on. Well, recruiters post about this stuff all the time, okay? So that's why I want you guys to be on this. It's hilarious. And then sometimes you guys read this stuff and you're like, thank God I'm still employed, okay? I also call the TAP program the Scared Straight program, because sometimes you guys get so overwhelmed, you're like, I'm going to just stay in the military, Roseanne. Okay. All right. So Lockheed, that was just something I saw yesterday. I created these slides literally last night. This is not old news. Okay. Nor is it fake news. Okay. Moving on. So Sergeant Paget, who I know is not here, I made him send me these pictures. And he was trying to do crew rest, or I'm sorry, whatever you guys call it, but I woke him up. Okay. I was like, I need these pictures. So anyway, here's this picture during one of the hurricane relief efforts. And he told me he was so excited about this picture because Obama, President Obama, actually held up the picture in one of his press briefings, and he was in that picture. There he is right there. Look, there's the real picture. You can Google it. It's for real. I checked it out, guys. This is real, okay? So I want you guys to see, if you're like, Roseanne, I'm not getting out of the military. I'm staying in. I don't know why you're still talking to me during this briefing. Oh, no, no, no. You guys do the coolest things in your job. I know some parts are really boring and stuff, just like my job, you know, like metrics and paperwork. Blah, I hate it. But I do so many cool things in my job too that I love telling people about. And I want you guys as well to share what you know as a professional. So you could share this picture on LinkedIn and what it was that you were doing and what it means to you. Now, obviously with OPSEC and stuff, I tell you guys all the time, like PAs constantly putting stuff out, like anything that's been vetted or that's online that was, you know, from an official Air Force site or whatever, like the MSAF squadron, for example, they're always doing international partnerships. Their sexy word is building partner capacity. I know that now from working with them. Okay, so they're doing all sorts of international missions. And so they're doing a lot of cool things. And I'm like, why not think about working for international companies? It's like you guys don't even think about these things sometimes, right? This is a picture I took on the left. And I think the caption was about how much the C5 can really hold and stuff, which is hilarious. And I've even trying to talk to you guys about this. You guys fill in the blanks on that one, okay? But I want everyone on here to think about something that you could share what you know as a professional. Like if I have any pilots on here, I had a really cool, I wish I would have done a screenshot. I wish with all my heart. These pilots, this guy did a screenshot of him in the cockpit when he was doing a flyby at one of the stadiums. It was on the East Coast. And his post was about how every second matters and how he had to recalculate. He had to do all these like mathematical equations to recalculate so that the flyby was at the perfect moment, because I guess the singer wasn't ready. Maybe it was Beyonce, I don't know. But like the singer wasn't ready, so they had to like adjust their speed. And it was just so cool reading about it. I'm not a pilot or anything, but I had no idea. I had no idea that all of that went into it. It's such a cool thing that I, as a civilian, see and enjoy from a civilian perspective. So the same thing for you guys. Maybe you've seen your plane in one of the movies and you're like, that never happens. That would never happen in the cargo hold or whatever. Well, then you guys could post something about that and share it, okay? I just wanted to say, I want you to think about what you could do to share what you know as a professional, okay? Moving on. How am I doing on time? Oh my God, okay. Now I want to show you guys an example of Facebook versus LinkedIn, and I'm going to use camping as an example. This is my friend Teresa. She's a teacher. She's very proud of herself for buying a pink camper. I don't know if she's ever going to go out in that thing, but anyway, here's an example of, I do not want you guys having a picture of, I don't know why there's that big line in the middle of my slides. You guys, you know, it's always a funny thing with me. But anyway, Teresa is just posting, you know, she bought this camper. Okay, do not post that on LinkedIn. Okay, no one cares about that. However, if you look here on the right, Jenna took, this person got out of the military and took a hiking trip with their 8-year-old son along the Pacific coast. And the briefing, and actually if you click on this, it's an article, but she posts about resilience and taking time for yourself. That's a perfect example, everyone, where if you're like, Roseanne, I don't necessarily want to share about my work, but I do want to share about something I'm passionate about, or about helping others. For all my senior leaders on here, anyone in leadership or management, you could post about things that you've learned as a manager, or something that you would like to give words of wisdom to people. So this is an example of you could still even post about camping on LinkedIn. I've had plenty of people in my TAP class that have wanted to either like run an RV resort, or they wanted to, I just had one of my friends I was stationed with overseas, she and her husband, he just came home from deployment. She bought this huge camper trailer Rockstar bus thing. And that's what they're living until he retires, and they're saving $1 bazillion in rent money and stuff. So it's pretty cool. And I'm gonna move on. I really don't know why there's this line in all my slides. I just don't know what's going on. That's really distracting to me, everyone. Do you guys see that little line on the left-hand side? What? Okay. Moving on. I also like to follow companies. So I like you guys to think about companies that you want to work for and stuff, or like companies that are in your career field. Or remember I said if you want to get into marketing, or let's say you're like, Roseanne, screw aircraft maintenance or whatever you're doing. I want to work for Google. All right, then let's follow Google and stuff, right? But there's also these really great companies, publishing companies like Harvard Business Review and Forbes. They've got really great stuff that you guys might deal with every day. Does anyone on this briefing procrastinate? I did this last night because I was procrastinating, so I felt like it was very appropriate. It says, if you're procrastinating right now, here's how to stop. And then that's totally me with all my Post-it notes. In fact, I have a whole bunch like right here. Like you could even, like, here's one I wrote before class started. Okay. And then it actually tells you how long it is to read. And I'm going to tell you guys something. No one reads anymore. Has anyone noticed that? I can always tell when someone hasn't read their email because they show up for a TAP class wearing their uniform. And I was like, if you would have read the very first line of the email, it says you get civilian clothes. And I know you would have done it, right? So you could read these articles and make a comment on here. You could comment as a professional. What have you guys done in the military where you have helped yourself not procrastinate? You could make a comment on here, okay? You could read a short article or post and then comment. Look at this one. Derek Morley works in the Airman and Family Readiness Center, and he used to be a cargo load master. So Derek was telling me, oh, make sure when you teach LinkedIn that you say cross-functional, because everyone there is cross-functional because you're working with all the different pieces and making things happen. So I saw cross-functional last night and I was like, oh, I got to do this for Derek. So cross-functional teams spread opportunities for leadership throughout the company. You guys can think of it like the Air Force or the organization, right? Can you guys see how many followers Forbes has? 14 million. 14 million. Harvard Business Review, 10 million. On the Forbes one, spreading a new mindset of leadership, only 11 people have commented on that. So any one of you guys that deal with either from a leadership perspective or maybe from a non-leadership perspective, you can make a comment on here. So that's another thing that you guys could be also doing on LinkedIn. This is where I'm going to tell you guys, this slide right here would have been how someone could have hooked me on LinkedIn back before Facebook. Okay, like I'm never even on Facebook or anything anymore, mostly because I'm home from overseas and my family doesn't need to see pictures of my kids, but I just love learning. Okay, so how did I find out how to do LinkedIn and everything for you guys? I found out by reading all these articles and connecting with LinkedIn experts and people who work for LinkedIn. In fact, I teach so much LinkedIn that everyone thinks I work for LinkedIn. Okay, and they're like, oh, you're at Travis? Like, it always surprises people. Okay, so these articles are really great, especially for those of you that want to go into management when you get out. I suggest you share some of these articles as well, because this is going to show your management side, or you could write a comment on there as a manager. Okay, last. You remember Everett, the guy that you guys saw the picture with earlier? This was just yesterday. Wow. Tomorrow I graduate. He was in the Hiring Our Heroes cohort, which is a SkillBridge program, everyone. As you see, so sweet that he tagged me in here. Everett just, I think he's gonna name one of his children after me. I'm not gonna lie, you guys, okay? Because he's just like, I still can't believe I'm here. Like, it's so crazy, right? But I want to tell you guys, this really happens from using LinkedIn. This one right here, a lot of folks want to work at Disney. That line is so annoying. Oh my God. So I had an EOD guy in San Diego that was like, oh, no one's going to want to hire me because I blow things up, blah, blah, blah. What am I going to write on my resume? Blow things up. The snipers have jokes. I've got a sniper resume. I can take you down. I'm fine. So anyway, the EOD guy actually ended up doing fireworks for Disney. Oh, pretty nice, right? Transferable skill set, blow things up, keep them safe, right? Okay. So anyone in here that's like, man, I never thought maybe I could work for Disney too. There's positions everywhere, you guys. So for those of you that are brand new in the Air Force or you're very young in your careers too, you guys could keep dreaming, dreaming, dreaming and finding things. So when you get to that moment where you can, where you want to get out, the DoD Skill Bridge is for you to use the last 6 months of your career. It's a Skill Bridge program, so you still get your active duty paycheck and you basically get to intern at a company, and the company gets to see that you guys are, you know, you guys are like a jack in the box, like, you know, and all of a sudden you guys pop out and they're like, oh my God, they could do 8 jobs in one. Oh, okay. So it's pretty cool. I want to show you guys that Skill Bridge thing. I want you guys to work on you. So LinkedIn helps you work on you. It helps you work on your resume. It helps you work on your connections. It helps you work on your knowledge. And I will show you an example of the LinkedIn resume. So when you fill out your LinkedIn profile and you're like, oh, Roseanne, I don't have a resume. I'm so stressed out about it. I'm going to show you guys what can happen here. By you just filling out your profile, this is Brandon from, oh, there's the word cross-functional. It's a very sexy civilian word, everyone. Get it on your radar right now. Just take out NCOIC and throw it all away. Cross-functional team lead, cross-functional project manager, okay? So I'm gonna pretend I'm Brandon. Here I am on my page. Look at Brandon's put a lot of work into his profile. You guys could see he has video, he's done a lot. He's been to all the LinkedIn classes and everything. You can click on more. So I'm right here on the profile, more. Save to PDF. I'm going to click on that. And guess what? Boom. My LinkedIn is a resume. Check that out. There's your resume. Pretty cool. That's straight up from his LinkedIn profile. Okay, you could go to your LinkedIn profile. And for those of you that take the class this afternoon, I'll show you guys how to do that at the end of class. Not like I'm trying to get you in or anything. I'm just saying. So outside people are learning about what you're doing in the military, and also it helps you learn civilian words. Like you're going to start to see, I'm going to stop calling myself this and I'm going to call myself this, right? You're going to start to see words that civilians use all the time. You're going to have a picture. Look at this guy. I always say, would you go TDY with a bag over your head? No. I want a picture of you on LinkedIn without your military uniform. Even if you're still in, you will not win this argument with me. I always want someone who goes to your LinkedIn page, I want them to envision you being part of their company, okay? If you take my class and we're in an actual in-person workshop, I actually make everyone get their, like, down to their t-shirt, so I can take a picture of you at least wearing your t-shirt and not your military uniform. I also want you doing the S word, smiling, okay? You need to look approachable. None of that military, sometimes people like, kid you not, people are like, Roseanne, I just don't smile. I was like, oh, I'm gonna break you. I'm gonna break you. I'm like, even if you think of a time that you've been in love or you've been happy, even then your eyes kind of go like, I don't know if you guys can see me, but like your eyes soften up just thinking about one happy time in your life, okay? So I want you guys smiling. My other favorite F word, in case you're wondering, is free. That's from my finance days, okay, guys? Free, okay. So S word, smile, have a photo. And now what I'd like to do, because we're nearing the end, we're almost to the very end, I would love for you guys in the chat box now to write down on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you think you are now in terms of knowing what maybe LinkedIn can do for you more than you did at the beginning of class? I'd love to see everyone's numbers now. Oh, very good. Yeah, just knowing what it can do for you, because everyone's like, you should be on LinkedIn. You should be. You're like, excuse me, I still have 800 years in the military. I'm not going to get on that thing. I hope I kind of sold you guys on the value for you. I don't even work for LinkedIn. I don't get any commission for you guys liking it. Okay, my commission is you guys finding a job that you love. I don't want anyone playing the Darth Vader theme song as they drive into work. Okay. And do you guys know that over 80% of our veterans leave their job within the first year? That's a huge percentage because they take a job and they haven't thought about all of the things that they really want, that value, interest, and aptitude. Those are 3 important things to think about. Also, for those of you going to school and you're like, Roseanne, I am going to get out and use my GI Bill. So stop talking to me about the jobs word. Okay. If you're going to use your GI Bill, once again, I want you to use that in the smartest way possible too. So by you reaching out to people who are in that career field, they could tell you what to do in a smart way. So for example, if Ryan or Lisa, if they reached out to me and said, Roseanne, I would love to do what you do in the Airman and Family Readiness Center, and I'm going to be getting my degree, and I'm going to get my degree in public and communication, right? Because you're speaking and doing workshops. Oh, no. I would tell you, your degree needs to be in a social science. It's a positive education requirement to be in our job, and you have to have a degree in a social science career field. And a lot of people don't know that, okay? So it's going to help for those of you that are getting your degrees as well, that are going to be getting out. It's also going to help for my younger people in the military to get your certification as much as possible. So when you get out, you're highly, highly qualified with civilian certification. And I'll put this in the chat box. This is going to require I'll put the Zoom meeting in the chat box for you guys. So you can have the link for this afternoon. So I have a special LinkedIn workshop. So this afternoon from 2 to 4, I'm going to have a Zoom workshop where we're going to do your profile. You're actually going to be fixing it and doing your profile there. I'm not going to just be talking to you like here. We're going to actually be going in and doing all the things that are right here on the right-hand side. If you can't make this afternoon because you're like, oh, Roseanne, I'm sorry, I can't make it. I always have LinkedIn classes, and we're doing them on Zoom. But my next LinkedIn 1.0 isn't until August 11th, which seems like a far way away, but not really because we're almost at the end of July, right? All of my LinkedIn classes are on the Travis AFRC website. And I want to encourage all of you guys to connect with me as well on LinkedIn. And you can always send me a message and say, Roseanne, can you check my profile now? Or, hey, do you have some time to show me that one thing about Boeing? You guys, my way of saying thank you for your service is by doing this. I will help any veteran, anytime, anywhere. And if I can't help them, if someone texted me right now, I'd say, hey, I'm teaching a workshop right now, but I could help you at around like 11:30 or 12 really quick, okay? I'm always here to help you with that. I think I have here's my commercial, my 2.0. So 1.0 is what we're gonna do this afternoon for those of you that can make it. I call it getting dressed for the party. So 1.0 is making sure your profile looks really good. And then 2.0 is what we do. Remember how I had the Boeing and Lockheed and I pulled up those posts and everything? So 2.0, we're actually connecting to recruiters. I'm really showing you guys about job searching and just making your profile smarter and how to use it. So even for those of you that aren't searching for jobs, 2.0 is very powerful with how to connect with people and how to find people doing a job that you think you want to do. And I don't know about you guys, but have you ever reached out to someone doing a job that you thought was really cool and then you talk to them and you're like, nope, that job is definitely not for me. It's like if I was dating squadrons, like if I went to the maintenance squadron, I'd be like, no, not for Roseanne. If I went to CE, I'd be like, no, not for Roseanne. And then at FSS, oh yes, here are my people, right? So it's like you start to know by reaching out to people and asking them about what they do every day. So with that being said, I'm going to just go back and I'm going to put this in. The next 2.0 class is in August 25th. It's from 9 to 12. The reason why it's 3 hours is because literally we're working on your profile the entire time. Here's the Zoom for today. The passcode's Travis with a capital T, everyone, just like you would write it normally, right, with a capital T. If you want to be in LinkedIn 2.0 and you're like, Roseanne, my profile is pretty awesome. Well, I want you to send me a LinkedIn message. I'll look at your profile and tell you if you are admitted to the 2.0 class, and I'll tell you why. I have a lot of people that come to the 2.0 and then they see what everyone else has done already, and then they keep worrying about their profile instead of worrying about what we're doing in that class, right? they don't feel like they can write to those recruiters yet because they feel like they wore the wrong. It's like if I told you guys I was having a party and you thought it was a Halloween party and you came like in the wrong costume, and then all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, I was supposed to wear my dress blues. What? Okay, so I want you guys to just be ready for the party. And now I just have some time for some questions. If anyone, I have 1 minute. I like how I worked that one. If anyone has any questions, I can stay on here to answer some questions. Otherwise, I can see you guys this afternoon, and you will be talking this afternoon. You're going to be talking to me. We're going to laugh. We're not going to cry. Don't worry. Okay. I'm going to have a lot of great headline ideas for you guys. So that way you can start typing, and at least you'll have something until you find something better. And that's really it. Any questions? I can't see if anyone has a question. So you just have to start talking, or maybe not. You guys, I appreciate your time. One time I went up to an older veteran and I said to him, thank you for your service. And he looked at me and he said, you're worth it. That was the best response I've ever heard. And I'll tell you guys this, you're worth it to me. I can make a bazillion more dollars than I do in this GS job, believe it or not. But I love doing this job because I love seeing what all you guys get from having time to make some things happen, okay? I really, really want you guys to have really enjoyable careers in the military and even when you get out of the military. So thank you.
Roseanne, I just wanted to say thank you so much for your time and your insight. It was great we're just scratching the surface with all the things that we can do with LinkedIn and just putting yourself out there. So I appreciate you giving us that insight. And then I just want to make a plug for everyone for the workshop this afternoon from 2 to 4, just kind of by a show of hands or a thumbs up or whatever. How many people are going to go to the workshop later?
It's okay. The smaller the workshop, the more we'll get done. So I'm cool with that. Oh, awesome. Okay, so see you there.
I will be there as well. So we'll at least have a couple. I'm looking forward to getting a little more in depth on that. So if nobody has any other questions, we'll wrap it up and then look forward to seeing you at 2. Thank you again, Roseanne. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, everyone. I have to go fix my slides now.
Oh, just because the line there?
Yeah, I don't even know. Like, I don't even know how that even happened, and it's not.
Somebody mentioned in one of the chats earlier that they think you may have had the draw tool on and you accidentally drew a line.
Maybe I did. I'm gonna have to read through the chat. Okay, so and then can you? Well, you already have that link to send out to everyone too.
Yeah, and I already posted it. Yeah,
right,
I posted it earlier, and I'll send out a reminder right before. So
okay, awesome.
Maybe we'll have some people.
You.
Yeah, maybe we'll have some people who weren't able to come to the 10 o'clock that will be there later.
All right, perfect. Thanks for your time. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Awesome. I hope you liked it. Thanks.
Yeah, it was great. All right, bye.